The Browning Citori 725 high rib trap, my prized possession shotgun, but I haven't been at it that long. Now there's a story behind this, and for those of you who know that I really can't always keep my stories that short, I'm going to put a link in the description down below as to where the story ends and the actual explanation of the shotgun and the shooting part begins. So if you want to skip the story, feel free. Meanwhile, there's a story on how I came to get this shotgun. I'm not much of a shotgun guy. I really wasn't until a couple of years ago. Handguns was my thing, obviously, for most of my career. My shotgun stuff was an 870 at the department for better part of 38 years. In fact, we did a video on the gun I carried for the last part of my career. We'll put a link up here. It was the Van Comp 870, and we also did one on an 870 TAC, but neither here nor there. So 2 years ago, I decided that handguns are fun, but I'm going to get into trap. I'd shot trap a few times before. I did some with a Browning pump that I'd won a number of years ago, and yeah, I could break 12, maybe 13 on a good day, but average right around 12. So I switched over to a Remington 870 sport model, just a field model, an inexpensive one I bought used, figuring that might be a little better because I'm more familiar with the 870. So again, I was shooting 12s, 13s, so I decided to get serious. So 2 years ago, I went up to the Moose Sportsman's Club, not too far from here, and started going up on the public nights, and eventually joined the Moose Sportsman's League, and started getting probably 4 or 5 rounds every Wednesday, every Sunday when I could, and yeah, for a month or so, I was finally up around the 17 bracket, but I kind of froze there. So the guys at the club, a really good group of people up there who provided a lot of good information, a lot of good help, suggestions, and they said I really needed a gun that was more suited for trap. Now granted, a real shotgunner can take any shotgun anywhere, anytime, and probably break 24 out of 25, or all 25. That's not me. So I started doing my research and determined what I could afford, what I really wanted, and I was looking at a Browning Citori CT, their trap model, not their sporting model, and I figured I could probably get it for about what I could afford. So they just happened that a person showed up at the trap range one day, had a Browning Citori CT, and I watched him shoot, and he's a good shot anyway, but he shot 23 with it. And so we got talking about it, and he said, here, give it a try. So I tried it with his gun, never shot his gun before. It wasn't adjusted for me. In fact, it didn't have the fully adjustable stock, and I shot a 22. All right, I'm hooked. So several of the club members suggested I go up to the state shoot that was coming up, and there's always a couple of vendors there with new and used shotguns. So my wife and I figured out what we could afford, gathered up the money, and went up to the state shoot. And we found a vendor, first vendor trailer. They had a lot of people in it. It was kind of packed. We went on to the second one, and the proprietor there was working with the customer. The customer was just basically kind of a turd roller at that point, but he was working with him. And the vendor seemed like a really nice guy. So we started looking around, and I picked up a Browning Citori, but it was a sport model, not the trap model. So not really what I wanted. I looked at a really nice Beretta, but it just didn't quite feel right. And I saw this Citori 725 sitting in the rack. Had a tag on it that I said, oh, not happening. So the proprietor finished up with his customer there who didn't buy anything. Came over to me, we started talking. I told him what I was looking for and why, and he mentioned the Beretta, but then he saw my glance at the 725. He picked it up, put it in my hand, and said, try it. I said, there's no way that I can afford a Citori 725 high rib trap. No way. And I looked at the price tag on it and said, that ain't happening. He said, close your eyes. And he handed me the gun and said, mount the gun, then open your eyes. And wow. Even though the stock hadn't been adjusted for me, it fit like a glove. He looked at it, looked at my my stance, my position, and took the gun, did a couple of tweaks to the cheek piece on it, and handed it back to me, said, close your eyes, mount it, and look. Right where it should have been. I did that a half a dozen times, and I was sold, but I still couldn't quite swing the price on it. And I didn't tell him what my price was, but I told him it's out of my league. He made me an offer I couldn't refuse. Now, most of the Browning Citori 725 traps come with a, or the 725s, come with a second trigger. This one didn't have it. This one didn't have the original Browning case, but it did have some chokes, and he stuck it in an old case, and we did our paperwork, and I exchanged the money, he exchanged the gun, and we walked out of there with enough money left over to buy a couple of flats of trap shells. So I got serious about it after that, and actually took a lesson, and that helped a lot. And pretty soon I was regularly averaging 22, occasionally the 23, 24, and at the very end of the season I got a 25 and turned around and got another 25, so back-to-backs. No complaints at all. Love this shotgun. Again, we'll talk about it here in a minute. Then last season, I started up this YouTube channel about this time last year, and my trap shooting went in the tank. I was concentrating on the great affordable 1911 series plus a bunch of other handguns. I went out to the range a few times and was back to 17s, 18s again, and just not comfortable. So I didn't do much at all last year. This year we're going to get more serious about it with the Citori 725 high rib trap. Now, this gun, if you can see it there in the camera or not, is made in Japan. However, it's very finely made in Japan. The walnut on it is very beautiful. Good fit and finish. And you'll notice a couple of things on the stock that are not what you would normally see out of a Browning, and this one is specifically adjusted for me. Turns out this stock was customized by a gentleman by the name of Keith Heeg, and I met him up there, and we tried to make arrangements to where I could actually come down and work with him. He could fine-tune the stock perfectly for me. Unfortunately, he passed on last fall, so I never got the opportunity to do that. But this stock has an adjustable cheek piece and adjustable butt plate, rubberized butt plate of course, and it's set up for just the exact way I want it. And the grip from Browning has a palm swell on the right side. This gun fits beautifully. I can't ask for a better fit and finish. It still locks up tight. You can see the barrel release or action release is still to the right of center. It's got a good, solid, long time left in it. The safety on this does not automatically go on like it did the Stoeger that we just reviewed here recently. Put a link up there to that Stoeger 20 gauge over under, which by the way is a nice gun. But this safety is manual. It doesn't automatically go on. And you can select by the position of the safety if you want the underbarrel or the overbarrel to shoot first. I generally shoot with the underbarrel. The trigger on this is absolutely to die for on a shotgun. I switched to another shotgun very briefly just to try out a new one, although I still love this. I went back to this, and as I mounted the gun I touched it off. So very, very nice trigger, but I do have to be careful with it, and I've only had that one time it went off when I wasn't used to it. So let's see, 30-inch barrel, not the 32s that are popular these days. Has a couple of additions on it. It has a center bead on it, and I stacked the center bead under the front bead in an 8 pattern so that it looks like a figure 8. This also has an additional piece on the front. It's a hollow sight rail, so that when I'm looking down the rib, stacking the front white, it's actually more than just a bead, but it looks like a bead when I'm looking at it. Stack that on top of the center bead. If I get a little bit off center, this is going to let me know because I won't be able to see the entire front bead. And as we're looking at it, you'll see the barrels have been ported. Now, for shotgun people, some are big on porting, some aren't. I don't care one way or the other. The only thing porting does is, yeah, theoretically, faster shot recovery. I've shot some doubles with it. Haven't had any problem porting. I've shot doubles with another gun. Not a problem without porting. So I really don't care. The only thing porting does is make it a little noisier for the guys on either side on the trap range. This gun has Carlson chokes in it right now, and it has the light modified in top. These are removable chokes, by the way. And I have the what they call their 16-yard choke in the bottom. I don't know if that shows up on the camera or not, but the 16-yard choke is for a normal 16-yard trap, and it's equivalent basically to probably an improved cylinder, although I haven't spec'd it out specifically to know. Nice finish, nice fit. of the wood to the finish. Excuse me, nice fit of the wood to the action. Opens beautifully. And by the way, the Condor that we looked at, remember, had extractors, not ejectors. This has ejectors. So if I want to catch my shells, then I've got to put my hand over it as I drop them. We're going to take some shots with this. I tried something new with some clay pigeons, and the Condor one, all you could see is a little bit of a black spot if you kept your eyes on it, and the spot would disappear if I hit it. I've experimented with trying to make some clay pigeons that show up a little better during the video. I've got them stacked every other in the Champion trap thrower down here. If I didn't have them stacked every other, they'd stick together. It probably wouldn't work. So we're going to see how these work, and see how this Browning 725 Citori 725 high rib trap works. Now again, I'm not set up at 16 yards, and these are straightaway shots. Beginning of the season, I'm going to get serious about it. We'll see how it goes. So these should be fairly easy shots, and we'll see how it works. Next one up is not a smoking target. Oh, missed that one. Got a little behind it. Alright, this one up is also not a smoke target. Yeah, but I did smoke it, just couldn't see it. Hit it, but it didn't smoke. It came apart in pieces, but didn't smoke. I'm just going to let this next one go. Alright, we're going to try this one and see if we can get a little orange smoke out of it. Oh, shot over it. I wasted a smoke target. It's not good. And here's another non-smoker. Got it. Right, another smoke target. Let's see if I don't waste this one. That's smoke going out of the trap too. Alright, standard target, will not smoke. But it smoked into pieces. Winchester AA number 8 shot, light trap loads. Got one left and got a smoke target queued up. Let's see what happens. Caught a piece of it. Browning Citori 725 high rib trap with a Keith Heeg stock. Love this gun. And let's hope I can spend enough time out at the Moose to actually get better with it again this year. And it's just a sweet shooting gun. Again, it was a bargain that I couldn't turn down, and this is a gun that I'll keep forever. All right, if you like this video, we appreciate a thumbs up on it, and please, if you like the videos in general, subscribe, click on the notifications so you get notified anytime a Riders Range video comes up. Trying to get one up once a week if I can, maybe more often, we'll see. And comments on this video down below, we appreciate comments. Comments on anything that you'd like to see, by all means send them to info@ridersrange.com, and we'll do our best to respond to emails. Sometimes I'm a little late doing it. To see what we've been doing, what's coming up, occasionally I'll write a little blog about something. Check it out at our website at www.ridersrange.com. So, Citori 725 high rib trap. Really, really a sweet, sweet shotgun. Thanks for visiting Riders Range.